Hello and welcome to the channel. The Director of Communications for the People's Democratic Party (PDP) Presidential Campaign Council, Dele Momodu, is against the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) presidential ambition of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In a statement he put out, Momodu outlined the reasons why he loved Tinubu the man but disliked Tinubu the politician. For that and more, subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you. Why I'm opposing Tinubu, Dele Momodu. The Director of Communications for the People's Democratic Party Presidential Campaign Council, Dele Momodu, gave his reasons for opposing the candidacy of the All Progressives Congress standard bearer, Bola Tinubu. Momodu, in a statement on Tuesday, said he loved the man Tinubu, but disagreed with Tinubu the politician. He claimed that Tinubu had declined over the years, adding that he was no longer a man of his people and that his allies could not tell him this truth for pecuniary gains. Momodu, in a statement titled Festus Keyamo and his erratic vituperation, also took a swipe at the APC campaign spokesperson Keyamo, who had earlier written a piece concerning Momodu, where he said the latter was executing a sheep-hatchet job to impress his paymasters while tackling the APC. I have just read Festus Keyamo's response to my critique of the APC manifesto of lies. I'm not surprised that all he could do was yell as usual, without examining or practically addressing the content of my article. Unfortunately, he picked on a wrong customer. Let me take a few minutes to educate this young friend of mine who has since become a shadow of his old self since he was offered an appointment that makes him look so incompetent by the President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired. What did Festus say I did wrong? He quoted copiously from an article I wrote about 2 years ago, which the Tinubu media teams have been using to campaign endlessly because they have no stronger voice of their own. I'm indeed flattered. There is no doubt that I love Tinubu the man, but I disagree vehemently with Tinubu the politician. This is not the first time I will say it publicly. Since I now have the opportunity of presenting the bones of my disagreement with Tinubu, courtesy of Festus Keyamo, I will lay them bare. Tinubu has declined in the last few years. I used to see him as a man of his people, but no supposed generalissimo would ever abandon his people in the days of trouble and tribulation. None of the people around him could tell him the truth for pecuniary gains, Momodu said. Momodu claimed that Tinubu wanted presidency by all means, even after losing many of his foot soldiers. He knows it himself, but he desperately wants to be president of Nigeria by fire, by force, after he has lost most of his formidable foot soldiers, and now relying on outsiders to activate and actualize his lifelong ambition for him, which is his legitimate right. But Nigerians have the right to scrutinize his action plans. When he was a governor, I supported him from the distance while he surrounded himself with some people who pretended to love him. When he was busy distributing land to journalists in Lagos, I refused to collect my papers because I love my freedom. The reason I was able to tell him truth regularly. When he was to be impeached for some infractions, and many of his so-called loyalists were washing off their hands clean, like the biblical Pontius Pilate, my very dear friend Tokumbo Afikuyomi stood by him like the rock of Gibraltar, Momodu added. The Atiku Okowa spokesperson said Tinubu's biggest sin was the fact that he went quiet when the APC became a totally hopeless case, just because he is open to inherit Buhari structures. Lastly, I hope he would have the energy to make himself available for a rigorous scrutiny of his manifesto. He wants to renew what actually? He wants to turn Nigeria into another Lagos. Many of those who love him genuinely know that the demystification process has started, he added. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and please turn the notification bell on. Thank you. Momodu also called Keyamo a certified nuisance who has become a shadow of his old self after he was appointed as a minister by President Muhammadu Buhari. He said, I hope Keyamo does not delude himself that I cannot make my own choices. I certainly have, and done so openly and boldly. Atiku Abubakar is my choice. He is not a pretender to the throne. He has pursued his dreams with grace, good comportment, self-discipline, and uncommon equanimity. Festus and his gang keep quoting a 2019 article that I wrote. They should go and frame my other writings too. As for that political neophyte called Keyamo, he still has a lot to learn while trying hard to be a lapdog. He should be reminded that he is still a Minister of State of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, paid at the taxpayer's expense. He should learn to moderate his undue exuberance. I could go on ad infinitum, but let's cool temper for now. While also warning Nigerians against the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, Dele Momodu said he is a potential dictator that will only take the country backward. He said the former Lagos state governor was a dictator who wanted everyone subservient to his whims and caprices. According to him, former Senate President Bukola Saraki, former Lagos governors Akinwumi Ambode, Babatunde Fashola and his deputy governors all suffered from his way of dictatorship. He said, Bola Tinubu is the only governor I know who had two deputy governors and they both got into trouble. I am inferring dictatorship and nothing else. I will never support dictatorship. Dictatorship has no way in my books, and Bola Tinubu is a potential dictator. He also claimed that several friends of the All Progressives Congress APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu have dumped him. The top opposition official accused Tinubu of acting like an emperor and misusing power. The spokesperson said Tinubu gave his predecessors tough times while they were in office as Lagos governors. Momodu recalled that during Tinubu's egotistic battle with Babatunde Fashola, he advised him to soft pedal. He backtracked. In spite of him, Fashola continues to remain relevant in Nigerian politics. The PDP member said when Tinubu continued his tradition of hire and fire and started plotting against Akinwumi Ambode, he buried his love for Babajide Sanwo-Olu to speak up against the injustice. He confirmed that President Muhammadu Buhari, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, governors and many others begged Tinubu to no avail. Momodu said the same personalities are those the APC flag bearer now wants to make him president. Nigeria is looking for a president with compassion and competence, not an emperor, he declared. That's the news, guys. Thanks for joining in. Bye.